Hello guys, welcome back to TechDose, and in this video we will see the best time to buy and sell stock 3 problem which is from LeetCode, and I will be showing you two methods in order to solve this problem. The first will be based on DP, which will be recursion plus memoization, and the second one will be based on divide and conquer technique. So let us first read the problem statement. Now in this problem, say you have an array for which ith element is the price of a given stock on day I. Design an algorithm to find the maximum profit. You may complete at most 2 transactions, and one thing to note is you may not engage in multiple transactions at the same time, that is, you must sell the stock before you buy it again. Now let us look at an example in order to get a better understanding. Well, in this problem, let us assume that I have taken a stock and these are the days on which the prices are fluctuating. Okay, so this is the same stock and the prices are given for different days. This will be represented in the form of an array. Now, given this array, that is the price of a stock on different days, we are allowed maximum 2 transactions and we want to find the maximum profit which we can make on buying and selling the stocks, and the maximum transactions will be 2 only. Now in this case you can see that we can buy this stock at price 2 and then again sell it at price 4, making a profit of 2. Again we can buy the stock at this one, sell it at 3, making a profit of 2. So the total profit will be equals to 4. Again, instead of buying this at 1 and selling at 3, we can buy at this 2 and sell at 4, again making a profit of 2. So this total profit will also be equals to 4 because we are discarding this. Now we can also buy the stock at 2, sell it at 4, and again buy the stock at 1 and sell it at this 4. So here the total profit will be 3, and in this case the total profit was 2. So the entire profit will be equals to 2 plus 3, which will be 5. So there are many possible combinations of buy and sell, and you can only make 2 transactions at most. So in this case the maximum profit will come if you buy the stock at this 2, sell it at 4, again buy it at 1 and sell it at 4. So the total profit will be equals to 5. Okay, so I hope you understood the problem statement now. So our goal in this case is to find the maximum profit in at most 2 transactions. Now what is a transaction? It is nothing but first you buy a stock and then you sell it. So this entire cycle of buying and then selling the stock and then making some profit or loss is equals to 1 transaction. Okay. Now what type of transactions are allowed? We can't have multiple transactions simultaneously. Now what does this mean? Let's say you are buying a stock, again you are buying another stock, and then you are selling the stocks. So this is not allowed. Basically, if you buy a stock, then you will have to sell it in order to buy the stock again. Okay. So this is basically a cycle. Now in the second case, you can see that first we can buy the stock, then again we can sell it, again buy the stock, again sell it. So this is allowed because here we are not doing any simultaneous transactions. Now in the third case, you are selling the stock and then you are buying it. But this is not logical because you cannot sell a stock before buying. So this is also invalid. Okay. Now I have assumed that we will not be making any same day transactions. That is, same day transactions are not allowed. So how do we solve this problem? Well, in this case, if you can see, a very logical solution is we should buy at minima and then sell at maxima. If you see this graph of price, then if we can buy at this minima and sell at this maxima, then we will be making a profit. If we buy at this minima, sell at this maxima, we will be making a profit, and similarly for this 2 and 4 as well. But how do we decide which minima to choose and which maxima to sell? So if you have, let's say, only one transaction, then you will be picking the global minima and you will be picking the global maxima, and if your global maxima lies to the right hand side of the global minima, then obviously you will be buying at global minima and selling at global maxima. But in this case you are actually allowed 2 transactions, so how do you solve it? If you look at it closely, then at a given point you have 3 choices. Whether you can buy a stock, you can sell a stock, or you can skip buying or selling part. Okay. So if you look at this stock number 2, that is price on the first day, then you can buy the stock on this day or you can skip it. You can't obviously sell a stock before buying. So on this first day you can buy a stock or you can skip it. On the next day depending on the previous day part. If on the previous day you had bought a stock, then on this day you can either sell the stock or you can skip the selling part. So like this, there can be 3 options at a given day, but you can perform only 2 of them depending on the previous day state. So let us see some state transitions in order to understand this problem. Now, if we are on the ith day and the previous day was I minus 1th day. So if on the previous day we were in bought state means that we had stock in hand. Then in the ith day, what we can do is we can sell the stock or we can skip the selling part. So if we sell the stock, then we will come under this no state. That means we will be having no stock in hand. Otherwise, if we skip the selling part, then we will remain in the bought state because we will be holding the stocks in hand. Now, if we were in no state on I minus 1th day, then on the ith day, we can buy a stock and we can go to this bought state. Otherwise, if on the previous day we were in no state, then we can skip doing anything, like we can skip doing buying or selling, and so we can remain in this no state. Okay, so if on the previous day if we were in the sell state, then obviously on the current day we will be in the no state because we will be having no stock in hand, and so on this current day we can buy a stock and go to this bought state. Otherwise, we can skip this altogether and we can remain in the no state. Okay, I hope you are understanding these state transitions. Actually, this type of problem I have already explained in buy and sell stock with cool down. So the link for that problem will be given in the description below. There I have also explained the state machine, which I will not be explaining here. Now, how do we solve it? By using recursion. Now, if you can see here, I already told you that at a given point we will be having 3 choices, either to buy, sell or skip. So that will depend on these type of conditions. Okay, the state transitions will only be 2. So in this case, let's say this 2 was the price of our stock on the first day. Now we can have 3 choices. On the first day actually we will be having 2 choices. We can either buy or the next choice is we can skip, but we cannot sell without buying. Okay, so when we were at 2, this red line indicates that we are skipping. So if we skip buying this 2, then we will go to the second day and the price on that day is 3. So we can again skip or we can buy. So if we skip it, then we will move to the third day where the price is 4. We can again skip or buy. Okay, like this the recursion calls will be made. Now the other recursion call, the yellow line, which is indicating that we will be buying. So if we buy this stock 2, then we will reach to the second day where the stock price is 3. Here we have 2 options. We can either sell or we can skip. So if we are skipping, then we will move to the third day where price is 4. Otherwise, if we are selling at this day, then we will be making a profit of 1 and we will be completing 1 transaction, and then we will reach to this 4, and here we would have made 1 transaction in total. Our profit will also be equals to 1, which is 3 minus 2. And then here we will be in no state. No state means we are having no stocks in hand. So you can see that this will be a very big tree diagram. So I have not drawn this. In this case, we will again be having repeating sub problems, as well as we can solve the smaller sub problems in order to solve the bigger sub problems. So there will be optimal substructure as well. Now in this case, we are basically maintaining 3 states. So what are those 3 states? The first state is that we are seeing if on the previous day we were in the bought state or not. That means we had bought any stock or not, because on the previous day if we had bought something, then on the current day we can either sell or skip. Otherwise, on the previous day if we had no stock, then on this current day we can either buy or we can skip. So the decision of the current day depends on the state of the previous day. Therefore, we should remember the states as well. So what are the states? First state is we need to remember if we had bought a stock or not. Okay, so this is one state. Other state is we need to remember the number of transactions which we have done. And the third state is we need to remember on what day we are currently at. Depending on these 3 states, we can apply memoization to our recursion problem. That means we can store whatever values are calculated, and so we can return those values in order to solve this problem efficiently by using dynamic programming. Now in this case, you might assume that this 4 and this 4 and also this 4 are basically repeating subproblems, but that is not the case. Here in the first 4, you can see that we have skipped buying any stock at 2, we have skipped buying any stock at 3, and then we have reached to this 4. So when we are at this 4, then we are in no state. That means we have no stocks in hand and our number of transactions is equals to 0. Okay, and the stock day is 2. Here also stock day is 2, and in this case also stock day is 2. But for this 4, which is the middle 4, you can see that on the first day we had bought this stock 2, on the second day we had skipped this 3, and on this third day we are in bought state. That means we have a stock in hand which we had bought on the first day, price equals to 2. So this state is different from this state. So even though the price is same, the day is same, but the states are different. Now for this third part, that means this third 4, here we are in no state, because on the first day we had bought a stock at price 2, on the second day we had sold the stock at price 3, and so we had made a profit equals to 1. Now on this day we are in no state, which is the same as this 4, the first 4. Okay, but in this case we have done one transaction, so we are left with only one transaction since only 2 transactions were allowed. So this 4 is different from this 4 with respect to the number of transactions. So if any of these 3 states differ, then we cannot say it as a repeating subproblem. So these all 4s are different. Okay, these are not repeating subproblems. So we can solve this problem by using multidimensional memoization array. This is the most efficient approach using memoization. So this will be fetching the elements in order of 1 once you have stored the elements. Okay, so how many maximum number of calls will be there? Approximately it will be 2 to the power n, but it can also go beyond this since there are 3 options, but effectively we are not making 3 calls, we are making 2 calls. Okay, now there are some other techniques in order to apply memoization. Let's say there was some space constraint as well. In space constraint cases, we can avoid multidimensional array, and instead of that we can combine these states and we can form a single string. So in this case the states were bought, transaction and stock day. So we can combine all these things into a single string by adding the strings, that is by appending them, and we can form a key. Now we can use a map in order to insert this key, and then the corresponding value, which will be equals to the maximum profit calculated combining these 3 states, can be stored as a value. So we can insert these calculated values in map, and whenever we hit the same key again, then we can just see the value and we can return it. Okay, but this is not O1. This is not O1. In the previous case I had said that this memoization array, which is of integer type, will be O1 since this is an array. Now in this case, this string operations will at least take order of length of string, okay, for adding them, and after that what will happen is in the map you will have to search for the key. So in best case this will be O1, and after that you will be fetching it. So basically this map is also doing some string comparisons. So string comparison is not O1. This will be again order of length of string. Okay, so you can see that this is not the most optimal approach, but this is optimal in terms of space. So you can use either of the technique, it will work. Now this was the approach using recursion plus memoization. I will show you the code at the end of the video. Now the next approach, which is more efficient, is by using divide and conquer technique. So first let us look at how do we apply this method and how do we think of applying this method. So the steps are, let's say these are the stock prices for given number of days. So this is just a single stock. Now the steps are, we can divide the graph into 2 parts, and then we can perform one transaction on the left hand side, another transaction on the right hand side, and we can repeat it for all possible points. So how this is done? Let's say we have divided these stocks into 2 parts. So let's say we are dividing at this 2. Now since we have divided at this 2, we will take the left hand side and we will perform one transaction. We will take the right hand side part from this to entirely till this last point, and we can perform only one transaction. Now we can add the maximum profit from the left transaction and from the right transaction in order to find the total maximum profit including two transactions. Okay, once we are done at a point, then we can move on to the next day, and again we can apply this divider line, and again we can find the maximum profit on the left hand side on one transaction, maximum profit on the right hand side by one transaction, and then we can add those values, and we can do this for all these points, and then we can take the maximum of all the calculated max values. So this is one of the brute force approach in order to apply divide and conquer technique. So this will be taking order of n square time, but if you can optimize this technique, then it will take order of n time, which will be efficient approach. So I will be showing this order of n time approach only. Now let us see, if we take a divider line, then how do we perform the operations. So in this case, I will assume that I am dividing at this point E, which is having the cost equals to 1. So for the left transaction, I will be taking all the points which are to the left of this line from A to D. And for the right transaction, I will be taking all the points which are starting from this line intersection, which is E to this I. This I have assumed. Okay. So the left transaction will be including A to D, right transaction will be including E to I. Now on the left hand side, we will try to perform maximum one transaction. We can even perform 0 transaction if we find that nothing is beneficial for us. This will happen if we have a decreasing type curve. On the right hand side, we will perform maximum of one transaction. Now on the left hand side, we can buy a stock at 2, sell at 4 in order to make a profit equals to 2. On the right hand side, we can buy a stock at 1 and sell at 4 in order to make a total profit of 3. So we have found both the transaction values on the left and right, and now we will calculate the maximum profit. So this will be equals to the maximum of already calculated maximum profit, which will also be calculated for other points as well. Okay, so it will be maximum of already calculated max profit value, comma, the currently calculated profit, which will be equals to left profit plus right profit. So left profit was 2, right profit was 3, and this will be equals to 5. Okay, so this will be the method which we will use in order to solve for a given line, that is for a given divider line. In this case, I have assumed that the dividing point falls to the right hand side transaction. Okay, so I hope you understood this point. Now a very common logic which will be our goal in order to solve this problem is we need to find the minimum value as the buying point and the maximum value as the selling point, because we want to make the maximum profit. Therefore we will obviously find the minimum value for buying and we will find the maximum value point for selling. This is our entire goal. Now if we have divided this graph into two parts at this price 1, then on the left hand side we will be doing maximum one transaction, on the right hand side we will do maximum of one transaction. Okay, so on the left hand side we can move from the first element towards this line, and on the right hand side we can move from the last element towards this line. So our time frame is going from left to right. Now for the first transaction on the left hand side, we will first buy and then sell. Okay, and we are also moving in the direction of the time frame. So it is very obvious that you will have to first buy and then sell. So when we are moving from left to right, we will have to maintain the minimum stock value so that when we are at a given point we can find the profit. Now in this case the first value is the minimum value, so our min value will be 2. Let's say we reach this 3, then we can find the profit by subtracting the current value with the minimum value, so it will be 1. When we are at this 4, then we can find the profit by subtracting the current value with the minimum value, and whenever we find a minimum value again, that is a even smaller value, then we will update the minimum value saying that we will be buying at that given point. So if this 2 was not 2 but it was 1, then when we reach this 1, then we will again update the value, minimum value will be updated to 1, saying that we will have now a new buying point, because this will be giving us more profit as we move to the right hand side. So in this case we will have to maintain the minimum value. Now when we are moving from right to left, then the thing changes, because we are moving against the time frame. Time frame is moving from left to right. We are moving from right to left in order to solve the right hand side transaction. Now in this case, if we already know that the maximum element is, let's say, 4, then at a given point, let's say at 3, what will be the profit? The profit will be equals to the maximum value on the right hand side on which we will be selling, which will be 4, minus the current day value on which we will be buying. So that will be equals to 1. So in this case, when we are at a given point, then that given point is taken as a buying point, and the previously calculated maximum value will be the selling point, because we can sell at a later time on a time frame. And on the left hand side transaction, when we are at a given point, then that point will be considered as a selling point and not as a buying point, and the previously calculated minimum value will be equals to our buying point. Okay, so this is the difference. Now since we were maintaining minimum value on the left transaction, so we will be maintaining maximum value for the right transaction. I hope you now understood why we are maintaining minimum value for left transaction and maximum value for right transaction. Having understood this, let us now go through the algorithm dry run so that it will be clear to you. Now before solving this problem, I have taken the same example, and now in this case, at any given point I will be taking basically two arrays, left and right. So left at I will be saying that if we are at a point I, then what will be the maximum profit if we have divided the entire graph at point I, and we are making one transaction at max on the left hand side. So that will be nothing but the already calculated max profit for the previously divided line, comma, the maximum profit which we can make on dividing at this new point, which will be prices at I minus the left minimum. Okay, so if you just read it carefully, then you will come to know about it, or you can just try to dry run on your notebook as well. So this will be very helpful. Now similarly for this second case, if we are at a given point I, then the maximum profit for the right transaction where we are allowed to make maximum of one transaction, so that will be equals to the already calculated max value for the right hand side line, comma, the maximum profit for this current line, which will be equals to the R max, which is the maximum value on the right hand side of the current line, minus the current price at the current point I, which is prices at I. So this will also be very intuitive if you can just write it on notebook and try to dry run yourself. Now at any given point I, the maximum profit will be equals to max of previously calculated profit, comma, the maximum of left transaction profit plus maximum of right transaction profit at a given point I. Okay, now let us just go through this entire algorithm. Now for solving this algorithm, I had already said that for this first transaction, which is the left part, we will be maintaining the left minimum, and for this second transaction, which is for right part, we will have to maintain the right maximum, and I have also explained the reason why. So now we will be starting from this first point. So this first point is 2. Okay, so I have also taken this array. Now when we are at this first point, we cannot obviously sell a stock. Selling is not possible at the first point. So when selling is not possible, then obviously we will not try to buy here and end our journey, because buying and not selling will not give us any profit. So when we just have a single point, then we will not do buy sell, but we will just skip it. So when we just skip it, then our profit will be 0. Now let us move on to the next point, which is this 3. Okay, now at this 3, what will be the maximum profit if we are taking only these 2 points? That will be equals to the maximum profit which was previously calculated, which is 0. That is, it will be maximum of 0, comma, currently calculated profit, which will be equals to prices at I minus L min. In this case, left minimum is 2, prices at I is 3. So 3 minus 2 will be 1. So maximum of 0, 1 will be 1. Therefore, we will write here 1. Now we will move on to the next point 4. Now at this 4, what will be the maximum profit for the left transaction? That will be equals to maximum of previously found maximum value, which will be 1, comma, the current profit value. So the current profit value will be 4 which is the current value, minus L minimum value, which is 2. So 4 minus 2 will be equals to 2. Okay, so here 2 will be given. Now for the next point, this is 2. So we are at this point 2. Now at this point, what will be the left at I value, which will be the left transaction value? That will be equals to maximum of already calculated value, which is 2, comma the current profit. So current profit will be 2 minus 2, which will be 0. So selling at this point is not beneficial for us. Therefore, we will take the previous maximum value 2. This is indicating that if we have these 4 points in order to make one transaction, then we will be buying at this point and selling at this point. Okay. Now when we are at this one, then we will again take the previously calculated value, comma the current profit. So the current profit will be 2 minus 1, which will be minus 1. So maximum of minus 1 comma 2 will be 2. So we will take here 2. Now this one is actually lower than the calculated L min value, which is 2. So this 2 will now be updated with 1. This is indicating that we have found an even lower price, and so moving ahead, buying the stock at this day will give us more benefit. Okay, so we will now buy at this day, which is having a lower price. So we have updated this L min value. Now let us go to this day, which is 2. So what will be the profit? It will be equals to maximum of already calculated value 2, comma the current profit, which will be 2 minus this L min value 1. So the previously calculated value is higher. Now for this 3, similarly it will be 2. For this 2 it will be 2, and for this 4 it will be 3, which will be 4 minus 1. Okay. Now similarly for this right array as well, we will be starting with the second last value. And why is that? Because if we have just a single value, then we cannot buy on this day, because buying on the last day will not benefit us, since we will not be able to sell it. Therefore on the last day we will be having value 0, because we will be skipping it obviously when we have just a single stock, and the same reason goes for this one as well. Now we will start from this second last day, and obviously our max value will be initialized to this last day value, which will be 4 in this case. So if we are buying a stock on this day, then the price is 2 and our max value is 4. So basically we will be buying at this price 2 and selling at the RMX value, which will be 4. Therefore the right at I will be equals to already calculated maximum profit, which is 0. So this will be basically maximum of 0, comma this will be 4 minus 2. So this will be 2. Okay, maximum of 0 comma 2 is 2. And similarly we will keep filling all the values. So now when we are at this point 3, then our RMax value is 4. We will obviously update this RMax value like we did for L min value. Whenever we find a higher price, then we will update the RMax value. In this case, higher price will not come, so RMax value will not get updated. Now when we are at this 3, then obviously we will take the maximum of 4 minus 3, comma previously calculated value 2. So this will be equals to 2. So now this will be filled with 2. Now we will move again to the next point 2. Again we will take the maximum of 4 minus 2, which will be 2, comma the previously calculated value, which will be 2 again. We move to the next point, it is 1. So in this case we will buy at price 1, sell at price 4, profit will be 3, already calculated value is 2, so maximum of both these values will be 3. And now whenever we keep selling it, the maximum will come out to be 3. Okay, so you can try to fill this array yourself as well. Now we have filled successfully the left as well as the right hand side array. So this is indicating that at any given point I, let us say I will pick this point, then at this point what will be the maximum profit? It will be equals to the maximum profit if we are allowed one transaction on the left hand side till this point I minus 1, plus the maximum profit if we are allowed one transaction from this point I to this last point, which is n. Okay, so in this case you can see that the answer will be 2 plus 3, which will be equals to 5. Okay, now this is very logical as well. So for this profit part, what we will do is we will scan through this entire array once. Why are we scanning? Because we need to put the divider lines at each and every point and find out the maximum profit. We will take the maximum of all these divider lines. So that is why we will be scanning through this entire array. So this process which I have explained you will get repeated for each and every point. So initially the profit will be initialized with right at 0. Okay. So in this case the profit will be initially 3, and then we will be starting with this 0.1, which is this 0.3. Okay. Now when we are at this point, then the profit will be the maximum of the previously calculated profit, which is 3, comma, left at I minus 1 plus right at I. And why is that? Because the ith point, which is the divider line, we had already assumed it to be present in the right transaction. That is why right is starting with I. So left at I minus 1 is 0 and right at I is 3. So 3 was already present, so this will not get updated. Now for the next value, this is also 3. So for this 3, again we will take the maximum of already calculated value, which is 3, comma, 1 plus this 3, which will be 4. So this 4 will be replaced. Now here at this point the maximum value will be coming as maximum of already calculated value, comma, 2 plus 3, which will be 5. So we will give here 5. So like this we will keep repeating for all the values, and you will find that 5 will be the maximum profit value, which will be equals to, if we are buying at 2, selling at 4, buying at 1 and selling at 4. Okay. So I hope you understood this entire algorithm for divide and conquer. Now the time complexity for this will be order of n, and space complexity will also be order of n. There is another approach using state machine, which I had already shown you on buy and sell stock using cooldown. So the link for that problem will also be present in the description below. The time will remain the same, but the space will become order of 1. Now let us look at the code. This is the code for the memoization technique. In this case I have taken the memoization vector, which is a 3-dimensional vector, and now this is the main function, this max profit. In this case we are given the prices on each and every day, and now I have resized my vector, which is nothing but our memoization array, and then I have just simply called recursion, and I will return the result. Now in this recursion I will take the prices array, I will take the current position, initially it will be 0. I will take number of transaction, initially it will be 2. And I will also take the state, initially the bought state will be equals to false. So this can be either false or true. Okay, so if we have not bought any stock, then it will be false. Otherwise if we have bought a stock, then it will be true. Now the first condition is for out of bounds case. If we go out of bounds in a recursion call, then we will simply return 0. Otherwise if we have ended all the transactions, then also we will return 0. Now for this second case, this is saying that memoized array is not initialized with -1, then we will be returning the value. This indicates that if we have already stored the value in memoization array, then we will be returning it. Otherwise we will process and then we will update our memoization array. That means we will restore the result and then we will return the result, so that if again it is called, if again this repeating sub problem is called, then we will simply see the memoization array and return the result without even calculating it. So that will improve our time complexity. Now for this approach, in this case I had already told that we will have 3 options: skip, sell and buy. Now if we are on ith day, then on I minus 1th day we can be either in bought state or we can be in no state. So no state is saying that we have no stocks in hand, and bought state is saying that we have a stock which has been bought. Okay. Now in this case, if we are in any of these states, then we can skip on the current day, that means on the ith day. So this will always be applicable. So we will always make this skip call. Now on the current day, if we had bought a stock on the previous day, then obviously we cannot buy on the current day, we can only sell it. Therefore if bought is true, then I will make a sell call. Otherwise if we were in no state, that means we had no stock on the previous day, then obviously we cannot sell on this current day. Therefore we will make this else call, that is this buy call. Okay, so this will be optional, which will depend on the previous day state. Now I hope I have already explained all these things, so it will be very easy to understand. Now let us look at the divide and conquer technique. Now this is very easy. I hope you have understood my theory explanation. In this case, I will be taking this prices array. I will be finding number of days After that, if the array is empty, I will be returning 0. Otherwise, I will be taking extra space for the left transaction, storing it in left, for right transaction, storing it in right. Now I will do the pre-processing for the left array as well as for the right array as I have explained. And after doing the pre-processing, I will again flow through the entire array and I will find the maximum profit and return it. So this is also a very simple approach, and this is O(n) time and O(n) space. So I hope you were able to understand both these approaches. The link for other similar problems will also be present in the description below, so do check it out. If you have any other doubt or solution in different languages, then please post below so that everyone can take benefit from it. Like and share our video and subscribe to our channel in order to watch more of these programming videos. See you in our next video. Thank you.